Masechet Menahot Daf Yod Het, continuing from Yod Zayin Amud Bet, 7 lines down. Amar le Rabbi Zera le Rabbi Aseh ve'it'amad Rabbi Eliezer mishum hachihu. So we're saying that right now, Eliezer's opinion that the wrong intention works because of a pasuk. Karet nami lahayv. How come he's not hayv karet? Why is it only pasul? V'yechitei ma'achanam. If you want to say that he is hayv karet, v'ha'athuda mark mashmid Rabbi Yochanan. But you yourself said in front of in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Modir Rabbi Eliezer she'en la'anosh karet. You said there is no karet over there. Amar he says Tanai the Rabbi Eliezer there's a machloket Tanaim as to what Rabbi Eliezer holds. Ikal mandam ar plus the right, ikal mandam ar plus the rabban. Some says the right that's karet, and some say the rabbanan no karet. The Tanya Berta says, "Hashochayed the Devas Masroza Korban with attention the Shalkim in the middle of my heart to drink the blood tomorrow, La'aktir in the middle of my heart to burn the meat tomorrow." Right, both of these things are doing something that's not meant. Right, you're drinking the blood of Mitzvah or you're burning something that's supposed to be eaten. Eat some of the sacrificial parts tomorrow. Supposed to be burned with beach. Kasher, it's kasher. Be'ezer pesach, be'ezer pesach. Aniach midamel mahar. He wants to leave the blood over tomorrow. Be'ezer pesach, and af ma'amar be'ezar, af pezul be'ezer pesach. Hamim ha'ashirin. Even that case, he says pasul and Hamim says kasher. Yehuda the man zukun Yehuda. Either the Rabbi holds like a Ranan. Hashtem mahatam dekama hasher. But shana achila be'chasher. In case where he says eating, the next day Hachamim said it's kasher. Hachala kosher again. So here he's talking about just leaving blood over for sure be kasher. So that cannot be according to Hachamim. And I'll leave the Eliezer is going to Eliezer. But the Brisa says over there as well that Eliezer says that in this case, the Korban's pasul and Harim says kasher. Eliezer Harim Beidah, similarly Eliezer has also Beidah. Lav karet. Equal was the difference between the two opinions is whether or not I have karet. Did Yehuda savar lahaniach pisla b'alma? Yehuda holds that leaving it over, intention to leave it over is just pasul. B'hanach karet Harim. But in the case of eating or drinking the blood or meats, you're hayab karet as well. Atar Eliezer says. Elazar says, "Iti pasul ve'imokaret." Both know par karet. So we see this difference. Seemingly, this difference of an opinion as to what Rabbi Elazar holds the basis for whether and that difference would be whether or not I have karet. The Gemara says not approved. The kul ama karet like everybody holds no karet. There's a three machloket as to what's going on over here when you're having intentionally the blood over. Tanakama's first opinion says Bahanach pligi that there's a machloket over here regarding Hamim Rabbi Eliezer la'aniach divrei kol kasher. That in regarding to a case where you're having intention to leave over blood, Rabbi Eliezer and Hamim would agree that it's kasher. Rabbi Savar Bahanach pligi. Rabbi holds no. The machloket Rabbi Eliezer and Hamim is only by the first part, where you're having intention to eat something that's meant to be burnt, or vice versa. But leaving something over, everybody agrees pasul. My time, why? Because we're worried that, and we're making a decree that maybe if you leave over some of the blood, you might leave over all the blood. Hold them up, and that is the right. The time it says, don't you agree with the left over the next day, pasul? So therefore, if you're leaving over, you're having intention to leave it over, it's pasul. So it's not whether I have gzera. But Al-Bazar says on that, even in this case, Al-Bazar says pasul and Hamim says kasher. So it's really look at how you understand it. Rabbi Eliezer and Yehuda do not argue whether or not Rabbi Eliezer holds eating something is meant to be burnt or opposite is d'oraisa to Rabbanan. And therefore this brother does not bring a proof either way. Now Rabbi Eliezer actually hold that when someone's bringing a korban, leave over the blood to the next day, everybody reads pasul. But Tanabrat says that I'm not a bee. When I went to drain my vessels, which is another way of saying when I went to ask my questions at the yeshiva of Rabbi Ben Shamua, I had a question. Mara says 1 second. I went to answer his questions. I find Yosef the Bavel guy sitting in front of him, and he was extremely beloved, meaning he was holy. Amalo asked Yosef said to Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi, what's the halacha if someone leaves over sodas or korban intending to leave over some of the blood for tomorrow? My lo kasher is kasher. I read the my lo kasher. When Yosef asks the question against the evening, he says kasher. Shahid lo kasher. In the morning again, he said kasher. Saharayim lo kasher. The next afternoon, he says kasher. Mincha lo mincha, he said kasher elo sherabi Eliezer posel. It's kasher except for Eliezer pasul. Sahavot panav Yosef. When he heard that answer, Yosef the Bavel guy got his face lit up. Amalo and Rabbi said to him, Yosef, Yosef, it looks like that you didn't really agree with me until now. Amalo, he said, Rabbi Hen, yes, you were right the whole time. Ela shebi Yehuda pasul shanalim. I remember my previous rabbi telling me that I was pasul. V'chazati akol talmidav b'bagashi li haver lo nosati. I went around asking all his students to find someone who could teach me as pasul as well, but I couldn't find someone. Therefore, I thought maybe I made a mistake. עכשיו שהשנית לי pasul, hazati li avedati. But once you told me now that the other says the same thing that is pasul, you basically returned that which I lost. Zalgu enough the mouth shel Rabbi Elazar ben Shamua. Reason Shamua's eyes started to cry. Amar, he said, Ashrechem Tamidei Hamim. Fortunate are you, Tamidei Chachamim. Shedivrei Torah Havivin Alechem Biyoter. That the Torah's words are extremely beloved to you. Divrei Torah Havivin Alechem Biyoter. Right? Karala Rabbi Elazar ben Shamua said this pasuk about Yosef of Babel. Ma'ahavti Toratecha kol yom hi sichati. I love your Torah. It's all day my conversation. Right? We have to make it our focus of our constant focus, our constant focus. Because why? Rabbi Elazar ben Shamua is saying that Rabbi Yehuda taught that it's pasul, and it's not even a major opinion. Rabbi Yehuda was the son of Rabbi Elazar, and Rabbi Elazar was a student of Rabbi Elazar. The figach shana lecha mishnat Rabbi Elazar. Therefore, Rabbi Yehuda taught you the opinion of only Rabbi Elazar. Now, what do we see from here? If you want to tell me that everybody holds that it's pasul, why would he say that? Oh, you reminded me of the halacha. Seemingly he's teaching him that it was one opinion says pasul, but other people says kasher. So it's not unanimous that it was pasul. Or it says elamai kasher v'Rebbi Elazar pasel. So what does it mean that he said it's kasher but Rebbi Elazar is pasul? Ihachi mai hamipneh. If that's just the case, then why would he say the whole concept of the he taught him from his student and his father? Ananami Plukta coming in. It's the same thing over here. It's the same machoket. Whereas Elalolam Divrei Akol Pasul, and really he did tell him it's Pasul. Umayis Lavatis, what was the thing that he lost? The Hadale Miha Shum Pasul Ba'olam. He says, you were telling me it's kasher. I remember someone told me it's Pasul. You reminded me now that there was another opinion that says Pasul. Okay, new Mishnah. Lo Yasak, in regarding to the Minha service. If someone did not pour the oil onto the Korban Mincha, oil actually has a few different times that you're pouring the oil into the vessel. You put it into the empty vessel before you start. The flour is put on top of the oil. You put more oil on top of the flour, then you mix the mincha together. That's called bilila. Then you're putting another oil on top to be mekim basuka biyasak aleh Hashem. That's called the yatzika, pouring. So that's why you did not do that. Lo bala, or you did not mix it. Lo patat, you didn't break the mincha into 4 pieces. Lo malach, you did not salt it. Lo henif, or you did not wave the mincha. Lo hagish, you did not bring the mincha to the mizbeach. Oh, he broke them in haba into there were 2 big pieces, not into the regular 4 pieces. The lo mishahana, you did not smear them in haba with oil after you were done like you're supposed to. Kishana, it's still kasher. The Gemara says, "My lo yisak, we didn't pour oil. Even lo yisak, like we didn't pour oil at all. Ikuvakti ba. When saying that, we know that for sure makes it pasul. Ella, because the Torah says you have to. Ella lo yisak kohen elazar. Maybe you're saying that the kohen did not pour that oil, but the non-kohen did. And even so, it's kasher. Where it says Yash is the case, Lobel Nami, in the case of not mixing the oil as well with the flour, Lobel al Kohen Lazar is also referring to a non-Kohen and a Kohen. Hello, Bal Klav is not at all Kapislad Pasul, but Tam says Shishim Nevlalin, 60 isarons of flour get mixed with the oil of the mincha. Shishim ve'echal, but if you do 61, it won't become mixed physically. Avinu, we ask the question, what's the difference if it is mixed? V'atan Mishnah says, Lo balal kasher, if you don't mix, it's kasher. Amar Bizira, famous concept, Kol haro'ui lebila, anything that's eligible to mix, and bila me'akevet. Well, even if it doesn't mix, it's kasher without doing it. V'chol she'eno ra'ui lebila, even by any korban that, mincha, that's not fit for mixing, yani the proportions were not done correctly, bila me'akevet, well, then even if it mixes, then it ruins it. So what do we see from here? In general, this concept teaches us as well. You have to set yourself up for success. And even if you don't succeed, it's okay. But if you don't set yourself up for success and you still succeed, you don't get any credit for that. Okay, regardless, we see from here that if it's not mixed, it's kasher. Question. Yeah, you can't compare 2 different cases. How could you 2 different cases? That's what. Lo yatzak, if you didn't pour, lo yatzak kohen elazar. In that case, if the kohen did not pour it, the non-kohen did pour it, it's okay. Lo balal, in the case of mixing, lo balal kaz, in the case he didn't mix it at all. In those 2 halachot, they are okay. Osh bitan pitim in the kishra. We said if you broke them in hand, the large pieces kasher. The Gemara says hashtag kishra. If you didn't break it at all, it's kasher. Pitim in the so why would you teach me if it broke into the pieces kasher? Obvious. The Gemara says that my pitim in the wasn't in large pieces. Shadi bab pitim. He made too many breaks. Right, so large pieces means it wasn't cut into the four in the regular quarters. That's what we thought it was. So maybe you broke it in half. We said, no. This teaches me that you did too many breakages. You broke it in less than you broke it into eighths, and it's still kosher. Biba didn't have an answer. No, it means big pieces. What you would have thought? Hatam who maybe in the case where you didn't break it at all, it's kasher. The ika turat because it's still considered low. If you over here, you broke into large pieces. Maybe uniting since it's not considered low or regular broken pieces. Kamash therefore you think pasul. Kamash therefore telling you kasher. It is kasher. Stop here, Rahman. Men.